This is me on a red-eye flight from Miami to London. I have 4 days off, and what I decided to do? Go to London and see the Christmas lights, of course. I arrived to snow in London, and yes, it actually snowed in the city of London. It was cold. Temperature was in the 30s for the high during the day, and in the evenings, as you can imagine, it was much colder. London's traditions of streets having festive lights appears to have started on Regent Street, which has had Christmas decorations in some form since the 1880s, although they only became a regular thing in 1948 when the Regent Street Association, the organization that represents the interests of the retailers, restaurants, and offices in the area, decorated the street with trees. Lights followed in 1954, and the RSA is still responsible for arranging the display. Oxford Street got its lights in 1959, and over the years, the tradition has evolved whereby the lights are switched on by a celebrity in mid to late November. Christmas comes early to some places, but Suffrages wins the prize, having opened its Christmas store some years as early as August 1st. Apparently the earliest Christmas opening in the world. The Oxford Street store's famous Christmas windows, an annual tradition dating back to over 100 years ago, usually follows in October. We can thank Harry Gordon Suffrage for phrasing X shopping days until Christmas, although the idea of shopping for Christmas presents had established itself in London in the 1870s. London's first Santa Grotto Inn was reportedly at J.R. Roberts' store in Stratford in 1888. By contrast, Father Christmas made his first known appearance in Harrods in 1908. This is Liberty London Department Store, one of London's most iconic department stores. Liberty London is filled with luxury British goods. The Liberty Christmas shop is up on the 4th floor and boasts more than 1,200 seasonal decks as well as posh Yule food and drink. This is Carnaby Street. Carnaby has an iconic heritage from being the birthplace of swinging London in the 1960s. Carnaby has and always will be the epicenter of culture and lifestyle in London's West End. This year's installation is called Carnaby Celebrates. The shopping district is celebrating 25 years of Carnaby Christmas lights with a medley of all the best illuminations they've had over the years, combining a whopping 14 themes to make one epic show. The installation includes neon lyrics from Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, glittering Rolling Stones tongues, huge robins, a giant snowman, palm trees, underwater scenes, and a dazzling globe surrounded by floating planets. This is Covent Garden. Covent Garden is a district in London. It is associated with the former fruit and vegetable market in the Central Square, now a popular shopping and tourist site, and with the Royal Opera House, itself known as Covent Garden. I read a fact that Christmas in London isn't Christmas without a visit to the Covent Garden Christmas tree set in the middle of the pretty piazza. And this is where I had my first traditional English meal at a traditional English pub called Punch and Judy's. I had a delicious steak and ale pie. Here are a few fun facts. The colossal Christmas tree at Covent Garden takes exactly 30 years to grow. It takes approximately 30,000 lights to decorate, which weigh almost 3 tons, and it takes about 100 magical elves to decorate that big tree. Near Covent Garden is Somerset House. Somerset House was originally built for the Duke of Somerset, protector of Edward VI. Somerset House is a magnificent building often used for exhibitions. Around Christmas time, they fill the courtyard with an ice rink, and there are lovely festive pop-up bars and shops. I've only ice skated one other time, and considering I still have to work, I know that I'm not a very graceful person, and I did not want to risk getting hurt in another country. So, needless to say, I did not venture out and ice skate. The Royal Opera House is an opera house and major performing arts venue in Covent Garden, central London. It is home of the Royal Opera, the Royal Ballet, and the Orchestra of the Royal Opera House. And this is a view from above. This is overlooking Covent Garden. You can see the London Eye in the distance. It was just such a magical night. And meandering away from Covent Garden, I stumbled upon Seven Dials, London. Seven Dials is a road junction and neighborhood in the St. Giles district of the London Borough of Camden within the Greater Covent Garden area in the West End of London. 7 streets of Seven Dials area converge at a roughly circular central roundabout, at the center of which is a column bearing 6 sundials, with the column itself acting as a 7th sundial. And walking through Chinatown and back through the West End of London, we are heading towards Piccadilly Circus. Piccadilly Circus is a road junction and public space of London's West End in the city of Westminster. It was built in 1819 to connect Regent Street with Piccadilly. In this context, a circus, from the Latin word meaning circle, is a round open space at a street junction. This is called The Spirit of Christmas by Regent Street. A sculptural masterpiece, the lights are inspired by Regent Street's very first Christmas light scheme, which featured traditional angels positioned as if playing trumpets. After the Second World War, Norway decided to repay their British allies with a very special annual Christmas gift, a tree. This is my last stop, the Trafalgar Square Christmas tree, which was given by the city of Oslo as a token of Norwegian gratitude to the people of London for their assistance during the years 1940 to 1945. A tree has been given annually since then. Visiting London during Christmas time exceeded any expectation that I had. I'll definitely be visiting London during Christmas again.